Feeling stuck in life is something almost everyone experiences at some point. It can happen in your career, relationships, personal growth, or even when chasing your dreams. The first and most crucial step to getting unstuck is recognizing exactly where you are and being honest with yourself about it. Too often, people try to ignore the signs that they're not moving forward. They keep themselves busy, distract themselves with endless activities, or convince themselves that things will magically get better. But the truth is, nothing changes until you first admit that something needs to change. Recognition is powerful because it shifts you from denial into awareness, and awareness is the beginning of transformation. Recognizing where you are stuck requires self-reflection. It means slowing down and asking tough questions like, am I truly happy where I am right now? Am I satisfied with my growth, my progress, and my direction? These questions can be uncomfortable because they force you to face truths you might have been avoiding. Maybe you've been working a job for years that doesn't inspire you, but you've stayed because it feels safe. Maybe you've been holding onto a relationship that no longer aligns with who you're becoming, but you're afraid of change. Or maybe you've been putting off a dream because deep down you fear failure. Acknowledging these areas of resistance is not easy, but it's the only way to move forward. Another key part of recognizing where you are stuck is identifying patterns. Life has a way of showing us the same lessons over and over until we finally learn them. If you notice you keep ending up in the same situations, whether it's financial struggles, unhealthy relationships, or lack of motivation, it's a sign you're stuck in a loop. Instead of blaming circumstances or other people, it's time to turn inward and ask, what is it about my mindset, my habits, or my choices that keeps me here? This isn't about judgment or self-criticism. It's about taking responsibility and gaining clarity. You can't break free from a cycle if you don't see it clearly. Clarity also comes from defining what stuck really means to you. Sometimes people feel stuck simply because they are comparing themselves to others. Social media makes this worse because you constantly see highlights of other people's achievements, which can create the illusion that you're behind in life. But being stuck doesn't always mean you've failed. It can simply mean you're not aligned with your true purpose or desires. Recognizing this difference allows you to let go of false pressures and instead focus on what genuinely matters to you. When you realize you're stuck because you've been chasing someone else's definition of success, you give yourself permission to create your own path. One of the most practical ways to recognize where you're stuck is to write it down. Journaling your thoughts, feelings, and frustrations gives your inner struggles a voice. When you see your thoughts on paper, patterns and truths become clearer. For example, if every day you're writing about how drained you feel at work, it's a clear signal that your career might need a shift. If you notice you often write about fear of what others think, you may be stuck in seeking approval instead of pursuing authenticity. Writing makes it harder to hide from yourself, and it brings awareness that talking or thinking alone might not reveal. Emotional awareness is equally important. Pay attention to the feelings that keep showing up in your daily life. Do you feel uninspired, restless, anxious, or frustrated more often than not? Those emotions are signals. They're like warning lights on a car dashboard telling you something inside needs attention. Many people try to numb these feelings with distractions, but if you learn to sit with them and understand their root cause, you'll gain insight into what's holding you back. Recognizing that your emotions are not enemies but guides can help you see exactly where your life feels stagnant. Ultimately, recognizing where you are stuck is about telling yourself the truth without sugarcoating it. It's about admitting, I don't like where I am right now, and that's okay because now I have the power to change it. Once you acknowledge the problem, you can begin to see possibilities for solutions. You don't have to have the full answer yet. The important thing is you're no longer blind to the issue. Awareness cracks the door open for change, and from there, you can begin the journey toward getting unstuck. It's a moment of empowerment because the very act of recognizing your stuck place means you're no longer trapped by it. You've taken the first and most courageous step forward. Once you recognize where you are stuck, the next vital step is to shift your mindset to possibility. The way you think about your challenges determines how you respond to them. If you view your circumstances as permanent, hopeless, or too big to overcome, you'll naturally feel powerless. But if you shift your perspective and start seeing difficulties as opportunities, you open yourself up to growth and change. The mind is like a lens. If it's fogged with fear, doubt, and negativity, everything will look dark and impossible. But when you clean that lens with optimism, hope, and belief in your potential, you begin to notice paths forward that were invisible before. Shifting your mindset begins with questioning the stories you tell yourself. Every time you say, "I can't do this," "It's too late," or "I'm not good enough," you're reinforcing the walls of the box you feel trapped in. These limiting beliefs keep you in a cycle of frustration. To break free, you have to challenge those beliefs. Ask yourself, is this really true? Or is it just a fear I've accepted as fact? More often than not, the barriers in your mind are bigger than the barriers in reality. Reframing your thoughts is powerful because it transforms problems into possibilities. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," try asking, "How can I make this happen?" That single shift in language moves you from defeat to creativity. Another part of shifting your mindset is focusing on gratitude. When you constantly dwell on what's missing or what's wrong, you shrink your ability to see possibilities. But when you begin appreciating what you already have, your mind expands. Gratitude puts you in a state of abundance rather than scarcity. For example, instead of complaining about a job you dislike, be grateful that you have skills and experiences that can lead you to something better. Instead of feeling stuck in a relationship, be grateful for the lessons it has taught you about yourself and what you truly want. Gratitude doesn't mean settling. It means using what you have as a foundation for growth. Visualization is also a powerful way to shift your mindset to possibility. The mind responds to images, and when you consistently picture yourself succeeding, you begin to believe it's possible. Athletes use visualization all the time to prepare for big performances. You can do the same with your goals. If you feel stuck, take a few minutes each day to imagine what your life would look like if you were free, happy, and thriving. What would you be doing? How would you feel? The more vividly you see it in your mind, the more your brain begins to accept it as a real possibility, which influences your actions in the present. Surrounding yourself with the right people is another key to shifting your mindset. If you're constantly around negativity, doubt, and small thinking, it's almost impossible to keep your own vision alive. But when you connect with people who are optimistic, driven, and supportive, their energy fuels yours. Conversations filled with encouragement and fresh ideas remind you that change is possible. Sometimes the biggest shift in mindset comes from realizing that if others have overcome struggles and created new futures, so can you. Being in the right environment helps you keep your focus on possibilities instead of limitations. One of the most overlooked aspects of mindset is the language you use daily. Words shape your reality. If you tell yourself every morning that life is hard, that you're unlucky, or that nothing works out for you, you're programming your brain to expect struggle. But if you begin your day with empowering words like, I am capable, I am moving forward, and today brings new opportunities, you set a different tone. The words you repeat influence how you feel, and how you feel influences the actions you take. Over time, these small shifts in language create a massive shift in mindset. It's also important to embrace failure as part of the process. Many people stay stuck because they're terrified of making mistakes. They believe that failure is a sign of weakness, when in reality, failure is feedback. Every time you fall short, you learn something valuable about yourself and your path. Shifting your mindset means replacing the fear of failure with the courage to try. When you begin to see setbacks not as dead ends but as lessons, you unlock new possibilities that fear once hid from you. This simple reframe can turn discouragement into determination. At its core, shifting your mindset to possibility is about choosing to believe in hope rather than despair. It's about training your mind to focus on what can be done instead of what can't. The moment you decide to see your situation through the lens of opportunity, you immediately begin to change your future. Possibility thinking doesn't guarantee instant success, but it does guarantee forward motion. It gives you the strength to take action, the courage to keep going, and the vision to see beyond where you are right now. By shifting your mindset, you unlock the door that once kept you stuck, and you realize that freedom was within you all along. Breaking free from limiting beliefs is one of the most powerful steps in the journey of getting unstuck. These beliefs are often invisible chains that keep people from moving forward, even when opportunities are right in front of them. A limiting belief is any thought or assumption you hold about yourself or the world that restricts what you think is possible. It could sound like, I'm not smart enough, people like me don't succeed, it's too late to change, or I don't have what it takes. The problem with these beliefs is not that they are true, but that you've repeated them for so long that they feel true. They become part of your identity, silently guiding your choices and keeping you stuck in the same patterns. To break free from these beliefs, the first step is to become aware of them. Most limiting beliefs live in the subconscious, hidden beneath excuses, fears, and habits. Pay attention to the moments when you talk yourself out of trying something new. What thoughts immediately arise? Do you tell yourself you'll fail before you even begin? Do you assume other people are more capable or deserving than you? These internal voices are clues to the beliefs holding you back. Once you identify them, you take away their hidden power because you can't fight what you don't see. Awareness shines light into the dark corners of the mind, and that's where transformation begins. The next step is to question where these beliefs came from. Many of them are not yours to begin with. They may have been handed down by parents, teachers, peers, or society. Maybe someone told you as a child that you weren't good enough, and without realizing it, you carried that message into adulthood. Maybe you failed at something once and convinced yourself that failure defines you. But just because you believed something for years doesn't make it true. By tracing the origin of a limiting belief, you realize it was simply a thought you adopted, not an unchangeable fact. This realization gives you the freedom to choose new, empowering beliefs that serve you instead of holding you back. Breaking free also requires replacing those limiting beliefs with empowering truth. The mind cannot simply let go of a thought. It needs something new to focus on. For example, if your limiting belief is, I'm not confident enough to succeed, replace it with, I am growing in confidence every day, and I have what it takes to succeed. If your belief is, it's too late for me, replace it with, it's never too late to start fresh and create the life I want. At first, these new beliefs might feel uncomfortable or fake, but that's only because your brain is used to the old programming. With repetition, your mind begins to accept the new narrative and your actions start to align with it. Taking action is another crucial piece of breaking free. Limiting beliefs often paralyze you into inaction, convincing you to wait until you feel ready or until conditions are perfect. The truth is, the fastest way to dismantle a belief is to prove it wrong through action. If you believe you're not capable, set a small goal and achieve it. If you believe you can't handle change, take one small step outside your comfort zone. Each time you take action, you gather evidence against your limiting belief. Slowly, the old story loses its grip because your experiences are rewriting the script in your favor. It's also important to surround yourself with voices that uplift you. Limiting beliefs grow stronger when they are reinforced by negative environments. If you're around people who constantly doubt, criticize, or settle for less, their mindset feeds your own doubts. But when you connect with people who encourage you, challenge you, and believe in you, they help weaken the hold of your old beliefs. Positive influences remind you of your potential and push you to see beyond your current limitations. The right community can become the mirror that reflects your strengths back to you when you forget them. Breaking free from limiting beliefs is not about pretending difficulties don't exist. It's about refusing to let false ideas dictate your destiny. Everyone has challenges, but what separates those who grow from those who remain stuck is the willingness to believe something greater is possible. When you dismantle the lies that say you're not enough, you step into the truth that you are capable, worthy, and equipped to create change. You begin to see obstacles not as proof of weakness but as opportunities to rise. Ultimately, freedom begins in the mind. The moment you stop letting limiting beliefs define who you are, you reclaim your power. You realize that the walls you thought were trapping you were built from thoughts, and thoughts can be changed. Each time you challenge a false belief and replace it with a truth, you loosen the chains that held you back. Over time, you create a new identity rooted in possibility, courage, and resilience. Breaking free from limiting beliefs isn't just about achieving goals. It's about transforming the way you see yourself. And once you see yourself differently, you can never stay stuck the same way again. Taking small but powerful actions is the bridge between dreaming about change and actually experiencing it. Many people remain stuck not because they lack vision or desire, but because they wait for the perfect moment to make a big leap. They think transformation requires drastic moves, quitting their job overnight, starting a business with no preparation, or completely changing their lifestyle in a single day. The truth is, lasting change rarely comes from one massive step. It comes from consistent, intentional, and small actions that build momentum over time. The beauty of small actions is that they are achievable and they create immediate progress, which fuels your confidence to take the next step. When you feel stuck, the idea of changing everything at once can be overwhelming. It can paralyze you into doing nothing. But if you focus on doing just one small thing today, you break the cycle of inaction. For example, if you want to get healthier, don't start by pressuring yourself to run a marathon. Begin by walking for 10 minutes each day. If you want to start a business, don't wait until you have every detail figured out. Start by researching your idea for 20 minutes or reaching out to someone who has already done it. If you want to write a book, don't wait until inspiration strikes. Commit to writing just 1 page a day. These small steps may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time they compound into massive results. The key is to focus on progress, not perfection. Too often, people sabotage themselves by believing that if they can't do it perfectly, they shouldn't do it at all. That mindset keeps you stuck because perfection is unattainable. Instead, ask yourself, what's one small action I can take right now that moves me closer to where I want to be? That question is powerful because it shifts your energy away from excuses and toward possibilities. Even the tiniest step forward is better than standing still because movement creates momentum. Momentum is the real secret behind taking small but powerful actions. Think of a snowball rolling down a hill. At first, it's small and slow, but with every turn it grows bigger and faster. The same happens with your actions. That first small step may feel insignificant, but it builds energy. The second step becomes easier, and by the time you've taken 10 steps, you're no longer stuck. You're moving forward with confidence. Momentum is what turns a hesitant beginning into unstoppable progress, and the only way to create momentum is to start. Another important part of taking small actions is celebrating them. Acknowledging your progress reinforces your belief that change is possible. Too often, people downplay their achievements, saying things like, "It's just one workout," or "It's only one phone call." But those small wins matter because they represent breaking free from inertia. When you celebrate each step, you train your brain to associate progress with positivity, which motivates you to keep going. Recognize that even the smallest victory is evidence that you're moving out of being stuck and into transformation. Taking small but powerful actions also helps you overcome fear. Fear thrives in stillness. It grows stronger the longer you delay. But action weakens fear, because once you start doing the thing you're afraid of, you realize it's not as terrifying as you imagined. For example, if you fear public speaking, start by sharing your thoughts in a small group. If you fear rejection, start by reaching out to one person instead of 100. Each small act chips away at the fear and builds your courage muscle. With every action, you prove to yourself that fear doesn't have to control you. Another benefit of starting small is that it creates space for learning and adjustment. If you take one massive leap and fail, you might feel crushed. But when you take small steps, you can evaluate what works, make adjustments, and grow without overwhelming pressure. Each action becomes feedback, guiding you towards smarter decisions and better results. Small steps allow you to experiment, gain clarity, and refine your path, which is far more sustainable than trying to force massive change all at once. It's also worth remembering that small actions inspire others. When people around you see you taking steps forward, even tiny ones, it sends a message that change is possible. You never know who might be encouraged by your decision to move forward despite fear or uncertainty. Your courage to take small steps can ripple outward, motivating others to do the same. In this way, your actions don't just transform your life. They create a positive impact on the lives of those around you. Ultimately, the power of small actions lies in their ability to shift your identity. Every time you take a step, no matter how small, you reinforce the belief that you are someone who takes action, someone who moves forward, someone who refuses to stay stuck. Over time, those actions accumulate, and you look back to realize you've built an entirely new reality. Change doesn't happen all at once. It happens one step at a time, and the moment you choose to take even the smallest action, you break free from paralysis and step onto the path of progress. Building momentum through consistency is the step that transforms small actions into lasting change. Anyone can take a single step forward, but real transformation happens when you keep moving day after day, even when motivation fades. Motivation is powerful, but it comes and goes like a wave. Consistency, on the other hand, is steady and reliable. It doesn't rely on how you feel in the moment. It's about committing to a routine and showing up for yourself regardless of circumstances. When you practice consistency, your actions compound over time, creating momentum so strong that it becomes harder to stop than to continue. Momentum is what carries you forward when enthusiasm wanes. At the start of any new goal, there's usually excitement. You feel inspired, full of energy, and ready to make changes. but eventually challenges arise, life gets busy, distractions show up, and the initial spark fades. This is the point where most people give up. What separates those who break free from being stuck is their commitment to stay consistent even when it's not exciting. They understand that progress is not built on occasional bursts of effort, but on sustained dedication. Consistency is the quiet force that keeps you moving until momentum takes over. Think of momentum like pushing a heavy wheel. At first, it takes a lot of effort just to get it to budge. The first push might feel exhausting. The second might still be tough, but with each push, the wheel turns a little more easily. Eventually, it starts rolling on its own, and your effort becomes lighter while the wheel moves faster. That's how momentum works in life. The beginning feels hard because you're breaking out of old habits and pushing against resistance. But once consistency kicks in, the effort decreases and progress becomes natural. The beauty of building momentum through consistency is that it creates habits. Habits are powerful because they remove the need for constant decision making. Instead of debating with yourself every day about whether to take action, your brain begins to operate on autopilot. If you decide to write for 20 minutes daily, eventually it becomes as natural as brushing your teeth. If you commit to exercising regularly, it becomes part of your identity rather than a choice you have to force. Habits reduce resistance, making it easier to stay on track and keep momentum alive. Consistency also builds trust with yourself. When you follow through on your commitments, you strengthen your belief that you can rely on yourself. This self-trust is critical for growth. Many people feel stuck because they've broken promises to themselves too many times. They start projects but don't finish, set goals but abandon them, dream big but never act. Over time, this erodes confidence. But when you stay consistent, even with small commitments, you rebuild that trust. You prove to yourself that you are capable of discipline and follow through. That inner trust fuels confidence, and confidence fuels momentum. Another powerful aspect of consistency is that it compounds results. One workout may not transform your body, but 100 workouts will. One day of saving money may not change your finances, but consistent saving over months and years creates wealth. 1 hour of learning may not make you an expert, but consistent study builds mastery. The results of consistency may not be visible right away, which is why many people quit too soon. But those who understand the compounding effect of small efforts know that each day's action is an investment in the future. Eventually, the results become undeniable. Consistency also prepares you for opportunities. Many people believe success is about luck, but more often, success comes to those who have been consistently preparing. When an opportunity arises, they are ready to seize it because they've been building skills, discipline, and momentum all along. Imagine someone who dreams of becoming a speaker but never practices. If an opportunity suddenly comes, they won't be ready. But if they've been consistently practicing, even in small settings, they'll have the confidence and ability to step up. Consistency ensures that when doors open, you're equipped to walk through them. There will be days when consistency feels boring, repetitive, or pointless. Those are the moments that test your commitment. But remember, the goal of consistency is not excitement, it's progress. Boredom is not a sign you're failing, it's a sign you're building discipline. Every day you stay consistent, you strengthen the muscle of persistence. That persistence creates momentum so strong that it can carry you through obstacles, setbacks, and doubts. In the end, momentum built through consistency is unstoppable. It transforms effort into flow, turning once difficult tasks into second nature. It shifts you from someone who tries occasionally to someone who achieves consistently. When you keep showing up, even in small ways, you create a rhythm that pulls you forward. You no longer rely on willpower alone because momentum does the work for you. And once momentum is on your side, staying stuck is no longer an option. You are propelled toward growth, progress, and transformation. Creating a clear vision for your next level is the final step that ties everything together when you are working to get unstuck. Without vision, even the best actions, habits, and consistency can lose direction. Vision acts like a compass. It guides your decisions, keeps you focused, and reminds you why you started. When you are stuck, it's often because you can't clearly see where you want to go. You might know you want change, but the destination is blurry. Clarity is power, and the clearer you are about your next level, the easier it becomes to take the right steps to get there. A clear vision starts with asking yourself who you want to become. Most people focus only on what they want to achieve, like earning more money, getting healthier, or improving relationships. But deeper than goals is identity. Ask, what kind of person do I want to be at my next level? Do you want to be someone who is confident, disciplined, creative, or courageous? When you focus on who you want to become, your actions naturally align with that identity. For example, if your vision is to become a disciplined person, you'll start making choices that reflect discipline, even in small ways. Your next level is not just about results. It's about embodying a new version of yourself. Defining your vision also requires painting a vivid picture of what life looks like when you're no longer stuck. Don't just say, I want a better career. Instead, imagine yourself waking up each morning excited about your work, contributing to something meaningful, and feeling energized by your progress. Don't just say, I want to be healthier. Picture yourself with abundant energy, moving confidently, and enjoying the activities you love. The clearer the image, the stronger the pull toward it. Your brain responds to vivid images, and when you consistently visualize your next level, you train your mind to believe it's possible. Another crucial part of creating a vision is aligning it with your values. Many people get stuck because they chase goals that don't truly matter to them. They pursue careers, lifestyles, or dreams because of external pressure, comparison, or societal expectations. But when your vision aligns with your deepest values, it creates intrinsic motivation. For example, if freedom is one of your top values, your vision might include building a career that allows flexibility and independence. If contribution is important to you, your vision might include helping others or creating something that impacts lives. A vision rooted in values is sustainable because it resonates with who you truly are. Once your vision is clear, it's important to break it into milestones. A big vision can feel intimidating if you look at it all at once. But when you divide it into smaller, achievable steps, it becomes manageable. If your vision is to write a book, your milestones could be writing one chapter, finding an editor, and eventually publishing. If your vision is to improve your health, your milestones could be losing 5 pounds, building consistency in workouts, and running a 5K. Each milestone achieved gives you momentum and confidence, bringing you closer to your larger vision. Writing down your vision is another powerful practice. Thoughts can be fleeting, but writing makes them tangible. When you put your vision on paper, it becomes a declaration of intent. You can revisit it, refine it, and hold yourself accountable to it. Some people even create vision boards filled with images and words that represent their next level. Whether through writing or visuals, externalizing your vision makes it feel more real, and it serves as a constant reminder of what you're working toward. Staying connected to your vision also requires reviewing it regularly. Life has a way of distracting us with urgent demands and unexpected challenges. Without consistent reminders, it's easy to drift away from your goals. By reviewing your vision daily or weekly, you realign yourself with your direction. This practice strengthens your focus and prevents you from slipping back into old patterns of being stuck. It keeps your mind oriented toward growth and possibility, even in difficult seasons. Your vision should also stretch you. If your vision feels too small, it won't inspire you to move. The purpose of vision is not just to set goals you know you can reach, but to pull you towards something bigger than yourself. It should excite you and scare you at the same time. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones, and a powerful vision challenges you to rise above where you are. It invites you to step into the unknown and discover what you are truly capable of. Ultimately, creating a clear vision for your next level is about giving your life direction and purpose. When you can see the destination, the obstacles along the way lose their power. A strong vision gives meaning to your actions, consistency, and sacrifices. It reminds you that the struggle of today is leading you toward the success of tomorrow. And most importantly, it keeps you from falling back into being stuck, because you know exactly where you are headed and why. When your vision is clear, your path becomes brighter, your steps become stronger, and your next level becomes inevitable.